Yes, Brian Sports. My name is Brian, and I'm very glad to have you today. Once again, another new talking point, and I'm just going to be looking at a few things that are happening in the world of CAF. There is something that has been lingering around. Of course, it's a rumor. A lot of people have commented about it, and I thought it's very valuable for us to really share with you here on Brian Sports. So today we are going to be talking about the Guinea issue. Guinea and Tanzania. You remember that Tanzania qualified for the African Cup of Nations, and Guinea has called on CAF to kind of like take action against Tanzania, claiming there are a lot of irregularities in the game that they played. You remember that Tanzania needed to win this game, and they won it 1-0. Guinea also needed just to draw the game, and it meant that Guinea would have something if at all the result went their way. The main key issue of course, discussion as well as controversy is the issue to do with the player that was substituted into the game. That is according to CAF. In the 73rd minute, a gentleman by the names of Ibrahim Anna, or you can call him Ame, was registered as number 24, but when coming into the pitch, when he was substituted in, he came in the number 26 jersey, and he didn't hold a name in there. So according to the statement that was given out by Guinea Football Federation, they are saying that this player that came first of all was an illegal player, because first, it is not the right number that was registered by Tanzania, because Tanzania registered another number, and then they registered number 24, and number 26 is what was seen on the player's jersey. And then secondly, the player did not bear a name. That means that we don't know exactly whether it was the right player, and for them, according to them, it qualifies to be misrepresentation. And of course, that is one of the few issues. They are citing article that is a 47 of the CAF rules and regulations for this competition, and they are saying that it says for any administrative error in the registration of players, the National Association concerned will be suspended from participation in the following edition of the CAN, as well as the team will be eliminated from the competition in the later. If the letter is still in progress, that means if if the whole competition is still going on, that means you will be eliminated from the progress of the competition. So the question is Tanzania going to be eliminated? And the biggest issue why I'm involving Kenya is because Kenya look like, according to what Guinea put forward, Kenya helped Tanzania cheat. That is what is happening in that. Kenya helped Tanzania cheat. That is why we are having a player who's not legally on the pitch, according to the Guinea Football Federation. They are saying that the match commissioner Francis Olile, he's called Olile from Kenya, a gentleman who was in charge of that game. They are saying he obstructed their right to lodge a complaint immediately after the game, because according to them, they are saying that they persisted and told him about their case, but it took only, in fact, it took a lot from the captain as well as the Guinean officials who came, including the Secretary General, to come in and tell him, you know what, this is our right as a football federation. We need to tell you this. This player is not legal, and we need to lodge in our complaint. And they lodged in their complaint. In there, they said that the behavior of this official denotes. This official notes that it's unfair that the match commission and the security officer are also from Kenya. That is another complaint they also put up there. They are saying it's not really fair to have a match commissioner as well as the security officer coming in from the same country, and it would not be an issue, but the country that they are talking about is a country that is sharing borders with Tanzania in the same football federation. So their interests as well as whatever they really want to do as a region, you remember they are going to be co-hosting, so they share the same belief and all that. So for them, they are saying it's a conspiracy. According to the statements, they are saying something is not right with everything that CAF did. You remember they also complained about even changing the game time, because the game time was also changed in there. So they're having a lot of issues. My views on this is just very basic. I really entirely think that Kenya, to me, have nothing to do in this, because they don't choose themselves as the match commissioners. They don't choose themselves as officials in such a game. This goes back to CAF in there. Then the other issue also, which is under question, with of course the decision that was done, especially to involve this player who really did not have proper identification. That is an issue of the match commissioner. We are supposed, of course, to wait for CAF to make a final decision on this, but what steps are really taken to really clarify this? First of all, they go back to the football report, the game report, the match report that is submitted in by the different people, including the officials of this game. What really transpired? Why did they make this substitution? Why did they allow a player to come in? Because there are different reasons. I'll give you an example. There was a moment when I think Ivory Coast was playing in one of the big tournaments, and what happened was they managed to really there was an issue with their goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper had an issue. He got an injury, and Serge Aurier came in as a substitute. In fact, he went into goal. He put on the number 1 jersey. That was also misrepresentation, but there was an issue. The issue was raised, and it was dealt with very smoothly. So when I'm looking at this and the Tanzanian case, I'm looking at the number of times that a country has been banned from a tournament. The only time I think a country was banned for misrepresentation was Mali and Ivory Coast. I think that was both of them were banned from 1978, and that is AFCON. That was in Ghana. Ivory Coast beat Mali to qualify, but there were some controversies in that game. The late Ignace Goody, who played in, he was a player who played under false identity. He played in the names of Ignace Kablan instead of Ignace Goody, and that was the name that he used. And of course, he used the name to lie about his age, and of course, that name was used in the World Youth Championships in 1977. So Mali reported the case and reported Ivory Coast, which was later disqualified. But interestingly, still in that same scenario, we saw that Mali also fielded an eligible player, and they were also disqualified. So that was the only scenario they had a team that was banned from any edition of the game because of a player really being misrepresented. We've seen Kenya being banned because of government interferences. Kenya and Zimbabwe. Kenya was in 2022. We also had the FKF coming out and disbanding all the football association and all the members in there, and all the board and everything. And of course, that was government coming in and disbanding the FKF. That was government interference, and they were banned. Zimbabwe as well, we had an issue of alleged sexual harassment. Both teams, of course, missed. That is Ivory Coast 2022. We also had, I think, in South Africa being banned in the 1992s. You remember then apartheid was an issue. We also had Nigeria. They had issues. Of course, they were banned in 1996. The then president, Mr. Asani Abacha, withdrawing the team in the tournament due to criticism coming in from, of course, the then Nelson Mandela. There was also a time Morocco being banned from the 2015 and 2017 AFCON because of issues to do with Ebola. They pulled out. You remember they withdrew their team and said that they are going to be having issues with spread of Ebola. So they were very scared for their fans as well as their team. So they withdrew from the tournament, so they were banned. So there have not been a lot of scenarios when we've had a lot of this happen, especially with such a player coming in with the wrong jersey number or that. And I entirely think if it's anyone to really blame or anyone to be banned, it should be the match commissioners as well as the officials, because they have the team sheets, they have all the details there. If a player comes in and they are not really right, they are supposed to really take the precautions. So I cannot blame entirely Tanzania on this. Yes, it's a mistake that was done. There has to be a reason. In fact, I got to know that Tanzania Football Federation have already come in with their issue, and they've responded and said that the player in question, he was part of the match day squad and was eligible to play despite wearing a number that was not included in the team sheet. But for them, they are saying the player is eligible. If you want to prove that he's not eligible, go back to your details and see whether he's eligible or not. The only problem with the shirt number. So I entirely think if it's going to be anything, it's going to be a money kind of like it's going to be its it's going to be a fine that is going to be imposed on to them. It's going to be a money fine if they're going to be taking any action. And I entirely think that the other things that are really to do with who did what and who did it very wrong, I think the commissioners will be facing the fire, and you might see them being relegated down, and they might not really officiate any big games from any for maybe 1 or 2 tournaments or 3, but that is what is really happening. So the question is really are the East African members as well as East African colleagues helping each other out in cheating the game? I don't really entirely think that's the case. I entirely think it's an independent issue. It doesn't involve any two of the nations, but we shall be very excited to see that Tanzania are not eliminated, because it was one of the joys of the region, though it has been an issue of argument here on this platform. But the issue is we really want to see both of the two teams really representing the region as a preparation for the 2027 African Cup of Nations. So thank you so much for being part of this page, and I believe that of course it has answered a few of the questions. We are waiting to see the decision, but we hope that the decision is very positive. And according to what I've told you, of course, the sources being some of the former people that have been in the officiating of the game, there's also been a few people that have worked, journalists that have worked around the country, and of course just like you've seen some of the few pages did not at least giving us a clear picture of what really to expect, and we should expect positivity, especially from the CAF committee that will really decide on this matter. Thank you so much. Stay safe, enjoy your day, and bye bye.